as active ones, and yet they had crossed them. This was after the committee chairperson Joel Senyoin told the Uganda Airlines team that he had been alerted that unknown people were colluding with passengers to defraud the airlines by using void tickets to travel to foreign destinations, especially Dubai. The finance director said that there were glitches in the system that were supposed to transmit the details of cancelled tickets to the airport. He said the system was being operated on manually and therefore needed to be automated to reflect changes. He insisted that such a gap could only be exploited with connivance of Uganda Airlines staff. Final details on free tickets could not be furnished to the lawmakers to inform a grounded debate and resolution. Joel Senyoin therefore directed Uganda Airlines team that was led by the Chief Executive Officer, Jennifer Bamtolachi, to return today with all documents pertaining to the query. Uganda Airlines team has for more than a month struggled to explain to legislators how a whopping of 498 billion was suffered in 3 years. There are also queries over staff salaries and procurement processes undertaken without complying with the provision of the law. The lawmakers have also been pressing the Uganda Airlines CEO to avail an academic documents that confirm that she attended and obtained a bachelor's degree in social works and social administration from Makerere University, copies of which were yesterday submitted at the commencement of the proceedings.
Thank you, our reporter Matthias Atukunda, for that report. Moving on, President William Ruto of Kenya is expected to grace the launch of the 28th Uganda International Trade Fair at the Uganda Manufacturers Association WUMA showgrounds in Lugogo, Kampala. Officials have announced. Let's take a look.
His Excellency the President of Kenya William Ruto is expected to grace the launch of the 28th Uganda International Trade Fair at the Uganda Manufacturers Association WUMA showgrounds in Lugogo, Kampala, officials have announced. The event will commence on October 3rd and run until October 10th. Ruto's visit was revealed by the WUMA Executive Director Daniel Vilungi during the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding with platinum sponsors for the 8-day trade fair. Vilungi said the annual trade fair resumes after a 2-year halt following the COVID-19 lockdowns in 2020 and 2021. This time around, the expenditure incorporates hosting presidents and heads of state in different countries who are going to visit the trade fair. At the opening ceremony, we anticipate having His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, to open the event, and the closing ceremony will be presided over by the President of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, alongside other heads of state, according to Virungi. His anticipated visit comes amid concerns of non-tariff barriers continuing to bear on the cost of doing business in the region, with exports from Uganda such as milk stopped from entering the Kenyan market since December 2019. WUMA officials told media that the association invited President Ruto and he will be joined by more than 3 other heads of state from East Africa. Vilungi commended Total Energies Uganda Limited for contributing 150 million Ugandan shillings towards the trade fair before signing a 3-year memorandum of understanding to foster trade and economic recovery in the country. Members of the public will be required to pay 10,000 each to attend the trade fair that will run under the theme Harnessing Economic Recovery Through Local Sourcing and Deepening Value Chain Integration. According to WUMA, an umbrella body for manufacturers in Uganda, about 90% of the stalls prepared for a total of 1,000 local and international exhibitors have been booked. Of 120 international exhibitors.
Thank you, our reporter Matthias Atukunda, for that report. Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Tayebwa has condemned a resolution by the European Parliament calling on Uganda and Tanzania to stop the development of the East African crude oil pipeline on account of the human rights violation in Uganda and Tanzania. Let's take a look.
Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Tayebwa Banjirana has condemned a resolution by the Parliament of Europe calling on Uganda and Tanzania to stop the development of the East African crude oil pipeline on account of the human rights violations and Uganda in Tanzania. While chairing plenary yesterday, Tayebwa described the EU decision as uninformed and based on hearsay. This motion and resolution curtails progress of Uganda's oil and gas developments. Yesterday, the European Union Parliament adopted an urgent resolution denouncing the human rights violations as well as the environment and climate risks posed by the Tilenga and East African cooperation projects developed by Total in Uganda and Tanzania. The EU legislators also asked to put an end to the extractive activities in protected and sensitive ecosystems, including the shores of Lake Albert, referring to the 132 wells that Total plans to dig into the Maction Falls National Park, a protected area, and to the numerous protected ecosystems which the 50 degrees Celsius heated by East African Cooperation Pipeline will cross. Quoting the International Energy Agency's 2021 report, I also recall that to have a chance to limit global warming to 1 degrees Celsius, no new oil extraction project should be developed.
The European Parliament advises the governments of Uganda and Tanzania not to develop the Tilenga, Kingfisher, and East African crude oil pipeline. Motion equally advises the EU membership or members not to render any diplomatic, financial, or other support to our oil and gas projects. The motion seems premised on allegations of potential environmental impacts, human rights abuses, and...
But Dr. Joseph Kobsheshe, the PAU's Director for Environment, Health System and Security Management, in recent interview said that discussions on the conservation approaches is going on. The conversation on offset and net gain is one we have been having, not just with Total Energies, but with other agencies like UWA and NEMA. So there are 4 pillars here: wildlife, fisheries, wetlands, and forestry. He added that biodiversity offsets need to be understood. They stem from the fact that our first priority area is to avoid as much as possible. Where it is possible, you minimize, restore, and then have a stage where you can apply all mitigation measures available. For instance, if you are constructing a road, you can avoid all sensitive areas by rerouting the road appropriately, including reducing on the width, having flyovers. But in the end, you get a road that reaches somewhere.
This motion and resolution that was passed, which calls on Uganda and Tanzania to stop the development of the oil and gas project in the East African region. The resolution, which I will ask the clerk to share with members on our Refresco platform, is based on misinformation and deliberate misrepresentation of key facts on environment and human rights protection.
In 2019, Friends of the Earth France, together with Savi and 4 Ugandan NGOs, filed a lawsuit against Total concerning the series of human rights violations and risks of irreversible environmental damages associated to the Tilenga and East African cooperation projects after 2 years-long procedural battle. The case should be heard on merits on October 12th this year before the Paris Civil Court. The East African cooperation projects will run 1,443 kilometers from the oil fields in Hoima in mid-western Uganda to the Indian Ocean Tanga port in Tanzania. The Uganda pipeline section stretches for 292 kilometers in 10 districts, while the Tanzania section runs for 1,147 kilometers through 25 districts and 8.
Reporter Matthias Tukunda for that report. Moving on, experts in tourism from Ibanda district have come out to ask the government to intervention in tourism so that it can be of help to residents of Ibanda. Comments come after the 2-day function of launching the equator economy with the unintention of developing domestic tourism in Ibanda district. Our report has the details.
Experts in tourism from Ibanda district have come out to ask government its intervention in tourism so that it can be of a help to the residents of Ibanda.
Konka ekintu kushaba government na mnonga district leadership yitu nokutuza nyuma abukubita twebembiri nokutuza nyuma bakatusupportinga na mnonga finances abantu abutukostinga nibana benda kulya nibenda kunywa nibenda kubyama nibenda fuel so ntushabangu leaders bitu but supporting kurabira mu kutereza obuyambo obwo erinitwe tuonjere kugira amani.
Governments come after the two-day function of coating the equator economy with an intention of developing domestic tourism.
The only thing we need now is if the road that connects Ibanda to Kasese via Lake George Chambara can be tarmacked, it will be perfect. And of course, I know government has plans for doing that. Marketing, Uganda Tourism Board to partner with us in marketing Ibanda. Of course, we know tourism board does a number of things in marketing. So if Ibanda can also be part of the positioning in the products we offer, and we have a number of products. We have the Gold's Monument. Gold was in 1903, one of the first commissioners of the British colonial government. We have what we call the Pool of Chishongo, Akayanja Komugabe, where all the kings of Ankole used to come to be purified, to be purified before they could ascend the throne. It's there. It's a historical feature that has been there for the last 100 years. So the challenge we have is awareness. So we are trying to create awareness. So when you ask me that what challenges are we facing, I would say we need to create awareness among the people to know that tourism in Uganda is a reality and is a big potential that can earn them income. Then infrastructure, if government can support us on.
Culture web, please.
International stories. U.S. Special Presidential Envoy of Climate Gntv refused to hold all responsibility for dealing with the consequences of climate change. Let's take a look.
Angolan President Joao Lourenço pledged yesterday to be the president of all Angolans during his inauguration for a second term in capital, Luanda. The ceremony took place under heavy security presence after elections whose results were disputed by the opposition. The Popular Movement for the Liberation of Angolans, MPLA, in power, since U.S. Special Presidential Envoy for Climate John Kerry refused to hold all responsibility for dealing with the consequences of climate change. Speaking at the African Ministerial Conference on the Environmental taking place in Dakar, Senegal, Kerry said all had to bear responsibility.
But others, despite what the science is saying, hold back, saying, pointing the finger elsewhere, you guys created it, you guys have to cure it. Well, guess what, folks? Mother Nature does not measure where the emissions come from. They don't have a label of one country or another on them. They are from all of the choices we make about how we move our vehicles, how we heat our homes, how we light our businesses.
The U.S. Special Envoy for Climate stressed the need to mitigate but also adapt to the coming changes.
Need to adapt seriously and significantly all around the world, and particularly in Africa. So yes, we need to mitigate, but in Africa and around the world, we need to adapt to this planet that is already moving towards the 1.
China tops the list of the world's worst polluters, followed by the United States.
Thank you, reporter, for that report. Angola President pleaded yesterday to the President of all Angolians during his inauguration of the second term in the capital of Luanda. Let's take a look.
Angolan President Joao Lourenço pledged yesterday to be the president of all Angolans during his inauguration for a second term in capital, Luanda. The ceremony took place under heavy security presence after elections whose results were disputed by the opposition. The Popular Movement for the Liberation of Angolans, MPLA, in power since independence from Portugal in 1975, won the elections held on 24th of August with 51.17% of the votes, its lowest ever score. The main opposition party, the National Union for Independence, UNITA, which received 43.95% of the votes, according to the Electoral Commission, claimed to have won the election according to its own count. The opposition rejected the results and appealed to the Constitutional Court. The appeal was rejected earlier this month. Some 15,000 strictly selected Angolans were invited to the ceremony, which was to be attended by some 50 heads of state and government, including Portuguese President Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa. The MPLA lost the 2/3 majority in parliament, which allowed it to pass laws without the support of another party. Simon, Gntv News at 12.
Same way for that report. For now, let's take a quick break. We return back with more stories.
This is Gntv, releasing life.
Omuzire wena kwendeza omwana by'obwegese birungi namutwara mu Midland Parents Secondary School kuri bine na Scripture Union y'amani abana babone bakora kurungi munonga kandi nari abonje nabishi boarding yonka okutwara umwana mu Midland tokwetenga bya katolize nkayinguni shopping niba kwereza bitabo uniforms obuchomo saboni yo kuna bamwe no kozi amajuto go kwesiga nombazi gwa mino ogisire wono gwe kito na sanitary pads zabwa bishi nibahereza bikopana n'amasahani nibahereza n'intambura yabusha hari yaba bakuza Kampala n'umwana wa watungo bushanja bibwabusha ebishare byabo nibirungi munonga
zine mitwaro kinana na mwenda zonka kuruga sine yo kubanza mpaka sine ya mukazi
ogita emitwaro 5 ya admission fee echawe kiba cyaterera bakwegurire office ahari ekera building amwarara gwa kabiri ninga kwenda kumanya bukira
tera noti mushanju shanju na munana ina noti ibiri na noti mushanju itanemwe emwishati 5 noti ibiri 5
asiro mushanju 5 kinana na mwenda abiri ni 5 ashatu ni 5 ninga yasiro mushanju munane 71 65 17.
GNTV, the first gospel TV in Western Uganda, celebrates 2 years of releasing Kingdom Life. In gratitude to God, we are together with Bishop Silas and Nicola Taebwa holding a Thanksgiving service at King of Kings Church Kamkuzi on 23rd September 2022 under the theme Ebenezer. That's what the Lord has brought us.
Abazire mwena baburengerwa izuba hamwe n'emyanya yona eryehinguririze otuyonoye buzaho rashomeseza omwana wawe akahinduka ekyo kugarukamu omunsi egi ishomero nirimwe ryonka Rentojo Secondary School eryehireyo kubangura omwana wawe niwo Kasima bine library y'omurembe laboratory y'ebya science na za kanyabwenge z'omurembe munonga nibatungura entalanta z'abaana ebyemizano tuwatuma wayeshire nushango harugudo nyigendwa orwamba ribanda omurubwizi wera Rentojo Town Council kumanya biri kushiraho tere namba yesumeji 0782 41 44 45.
Chinayu chinyumira whether it is Katogo, Chikomando, Rolex Majasa to Nyanyambisi. Man, wherever I am, I enjoy Chinayu with your TV channels on my phone.
Nyumiro omurembo omupya ogujjudde ebisanyusa omuli emikutu gya TV egisukka mu 8 n'egya radio nga kwotadde n'ezifirimu ng'osinziirira wonna w'oli. Genda mu App Store oteeke app ya UTV channels ku simu yo olwo onyumirwa ennaku 3 ng'olabira bwereere ewatali kozesa data. UTV channels.
This is GNTV, releasing life.
Come back from that quick break. Glad you're still watching GNTV at 12. Moving on into the top stories. In Zimbabwe, the Bishop of Harare held a memorial service for the late British marriage Queen Elizabeth II, who passed away last week. The service was held at the Anglican Church in the capital of Harare. Let's take a look.
In Zimbabwe, the Bishop of Harare held a memorial service for the late British monarch Queen Elizabeth II, who passed away last week. The service was held at the Anglican Church in the capital, Harare. The service was attended by the mixed congregations of black and white participants.
We think of you and would like to reassure you of our prayers for the royal family, the new king, King Charles III, and the people of the United Kingdom of Great Britain, the realms and Commonwealth upon the death of the late Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
The British ambassador to Zimbabwe also took part in the service. The British ambassador to Zimbabwe, Marilyn Robinson, said during the church service they have come together in the beautiful cathedral to give thanks to the life of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
We've come together in this beautiful cathedral to give thanks for the life of Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. It is a fitting place for us to do so in the sanctuary of the faith she held dear.
The Queen's death has stirred mixed feelings among some Africans about the legacy of the colonialism on the continent, where Britain once ruled more than half the territory. Za Asimu, GNTV News at 12.
Thank you, Asiba, for that report. Let's get back with the sports news. Sports news. The England manager has named his 28th men's squad for the National League fixtures against Italy and Germany in September. Let's take a look.
The England manager has named his 28-man squad for Nations League fixtures against Italy and Germany in September. Manchester United striker Rashford has again been omitted from the list, but the Three Lions boss has offered the 24-year-old hope he could still make the World Cup in November. Southgate says it's only 8 weeks till they name the squad for the World Cup. Hopes Rashford to be one of the strikers and he can perform at the high level in the World Cup. Rashford has started the season with some promising performances for the Red Devils, scoring 3 times and contributing 2 assists in 6 games. The forward is currently sidelined with a minor muscle injury, but Southgate's words will offer hope he would force his way back into the international reckoning if he can maintain his early season form. Out of the 28 players named in the latest England squad, 27 have played in the Premier League, 20 in the Championship, 8 in the League One and 4 in the League Two. The Three Lions play Italy next in the Nations League on September 23rd at San Siro. Za Asimwe, Gntv Sports at 12.
Thank you, Disa Sime, for that report. Moving on into the sports news, the Rossoneri sporting director revealed that Chelsea approved Milan in the summer window to sign Leo. Let's take a look.
The Rossoneri sporting director has revealed that Chelsea approached Milan in the summer window to sign Leao, who reportedly has a €150 million buyout clause. Maldini says their advances were quickly spawned, but also confirmed that Milan are struggling to tie the Portuguese forward down to an extension with his current contract at San Siro set to expire in 2024. The Milan legend said the renewal is an issue that they faced many months ago, and Rafa knows that to become stronger than now, the solution is to stay with AC Milan. Shedding light on Chelsea's interest in Leao, Maldini added, Chelsea's official written offer did not arrive, but on an informal level it did. Of course, it was rejected. The 23-year-old was an instrumental figure in the Milanese 2021-2022 Serie A success with 11 goals and 8 assists. This prompted Chelsea to inquire about him as the Blues were looking for attacking reinforcements following Romelu Lukaku's return to Inter on loan, but they eventually opted to bring in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang from Barcelona. The striker will look to add to his 2022-2023 haul of 3 goals and 3 assists in Serie A when Milan returned to action on Sunday against Napoli. Za Asimwe, Gntv Sports at 12.
Being part of the bulletin from the time we started up to the time we're wrapping up. On behalf of the entire news production team, many thanks for your company. Up next for you is the lunch hour service from King of Kings Church, so stick around. The powerful choir will be represented to the fullest. Bishop Cyrus Tayeba will be also ministering to you to the fullest. Then League Samo will come in with sports zone. Then MC Eddie the entertainer and Pro CM brings you Mashup Friday alongside I Want It RK, so stick around, loads of goodies coming in for you. My name is Winnie Kenembabazi. Stay blessed.
This is Gntv, releasing life. is GNTV, releasing life.
Menya neza ko arinje mugabane wawe inyuma yanjye